Generation Parenting. Today's video is centered around the idea um, of our children listening to us and being obedient. So the old paradigm of child rearing involved exactly that. This crazy preoccupation with the idea that we need to have power over our children, that we need to show them, who's boss, and that they need to listen to us and abide by sort of what we ask of them. And any deviation from that on their part is seen as, naughty or disobedient, and generally negative, and something that needs to be fixed. So, 1 second. Hi, Katrina. Hi, Maddie. Lovely to see you guys. So now I really want you to have a think about this. Take your time. Is that what we really want? Is it really beneficial or even necessary? Do we really want an obedient child? And I believe the answer is no. So you see, when we embody this sort of stance and try to parent from a place of power, of ownership, what we are really doing is creating this huge gap between ourselves and our children, and we are treating them in a way as lesser than ourselves. We, in a way, abuse the fact that they are smaller in size to push our own, often selfish agendas. And even though they might be smaller, they are not stupid. And what matters is the energy we give off when parenting, and interacting with them. So we're concerned when we're concerned with power, dominance, and having a child that does as they're told. We are creating resistance. We are opening ourselves up to power struggles, and create a broken relationship from which our children feel like they need to sort of run away from. And they are repelled by this energy. It is ineffective. It not only is it ineffective, it actually disconnects us from our children and prevents us from having, this truly trusting and deep relationship. And this is especially the case with, the children being born in this generation. They are so attuned to energies given off by people. They are highly sensitive, highly empathetic. They are attracted by and attuned to light. And anything which isn't a match, they get repelled by it. And they will try to sort of run away from it. So they are not afraid to stand their ground in a way, and not accept things that are not aligned with that light energy. So some of these children, I call them highly spirited. And actually, my oldest son, David, is one of them. So these are the future leaders. They will protect their convictions. They will stand their ground and say no, lots of times, all the time. They will say no to anything. So now when we parent such children from a place we just described, it's not pretty. It's not peaceful. We end up totally drained, emotionally exhausted, overwhelmed, and our children end up highly emotional. They end up, in a way, broken inside, and from this lack of connection and understanding on our part, their emotional thermostat, goes out of whack. They need us. What they need for us is to have their back, to recognize, their humanness and leadership, for us to treat them like equals, with feelings, personalities, likes and dislikes. They don't need us to be their enemies. They don't need power struggles. So, just to give you an example, ask yourself this question. Do you like it when others try to overpower you, have some kind of power over you, tell you what to do, dictate how you should live your life? And when you know exactly what you want for yourself, or maybe you're unlucky and you're already in one of those relationships with maybe an old-fashioned boss, and have a think, and what does it feel like to have that sort of relationship? Does it make you relate to such a person? does it create more connection or does it create resistance? So it totally translates to our relationship with our children. And some people might say, oh, but you're not supposed to be their friend, you're the parent, and that's your role. But actually, let's think about this. So we've already established that one, it creates resistance on their part. And two, actually, this means that this approach is ineffective because they are actually even more likely to say no. And so if it's ineffective and creates resistance, it actually leads to disconnection as well. So then what is the point of parenting from such a place? I mean, some instances, of course, involve us setting healthy boundaries. For example, when safety is concerned, for example, in crossing the road, or but it's more about guiding them and teaching them about the world and what is, safe, what isn't, what is okay, and what isn't. But this can be done in a. Excuse me, I'm just gonna have a drink of water. So even instances like that, they can still be done in a gentle and conscious way that, in a sense, honors our child, as a breathing, feeling being, not something for us to own and control. And so we often assume that we need to change something in our children, that, they need to adjust their behavior, or, we often adopt all these behavioral strategies and, like super nanny type techniques. But, have you stopped to think, what would happen if I adjusted my attitude and my perception instead? What if I changed the way I look at this and see my child? Because if we are changing our perception, we are also responding differently. We are automatically taking different action. We find different ways of relating. That is precisely why the responses we get as a result change as well. So what you do instead is you get equal with your child. You get on their level, and what you focus on instead is connection. You make this your priority and focus. It's all about connection, not dominance, and whether your child is obedient. And when connection thrives, we are really able to communicate with our child. And you'll be surprised, we can actually make them listen and hear our explanations out. We can teach them, we can guide them, we can show them the world and help them make great choices themselves. And because they want to, not because they are told to. That is the great distinction as well. Do you want your child to simply, follow, rules and listen to what others say, or do you want them to think for themselves and make, really informed and great choices? So they will, when we parent from such a way, they will grow up knowing that their parents have their back, that they are free to be whoever they wish to. They will not let others abuse them, dominate them, make them do things they don't want to. And most importantly, they will find it easier to know themselves. They will know what they stand for, what agrees with them. They will grow up whole and not nurtured and loved. And, they will raise the vibration of our planet, and they will change the world, the face of the world.